Have you ever wondered why some women begin to feel emotionally distant from their husbands as they age? Is it a fading spark, or is there something much deeper and more practical at play? It's a question that many couples face as the years go by, and the answer isn't always what you think. This shift in connection isn't just about love lost or dramatic life changes. It's often about the subtle, everyday realities that build up over time. As we grow older, our priorities, health, emotional needs, and expectations evolve, sometimes in ways that go unnoticed. These gradual changes can create emotional distance in even the strongest of marriages. In today's video, we're going to explore 7 key factors that explain why some women begin to withdraw emotionally from their partners and how these small but significant shifts can impact long-term relationships. More importantly, we'll discuss practical solutions to bridge the gap and rekindle the deep connection that every marriage needs to thrive. Stay tuned as we uncover the hidden reasons behind this common relationship challenge and what you can do to strengthen your bond no matter how many years have passed. 1. How changes in health and energy levels impact relationships. As women age, shifts in health and energy levels become an inevitable part of life, but their impact on relationships is often underestimated. It's not just about growing older. It's about how aging influences physical vitality, stamina, and overall well-being, creating changes that can subtly reshape the dynamics of a marriage. With hormonal fluctuations, menopause, and age-related conditions, many women experience chronic fatigue, joint pain, and disrupted sleep patterns, making it harder to keep up with the same daily activities they once enjoyed. These physical changes don't just affect their personal well-being, they also influence emotional connection and intimacy in a relationship. One of the biggest challenges arises when partners don't fully recognize or acknowledge these struggles. A woman dealing with sleepless nights, hot flashes, or constant fatigue may feel emotionally unsupported if her husband continues to expect the same level of engagement, whether in household responsibilities, social activities, or even intimacy, without adjusting his expectations. For example, a woman in her 50s or 60s might be navigating menopause-related exhaustion and discomfort, yet still expected to manage a household, care for family members, and maintain a busy schedule. If her husband fails to offer understanding or support, she may start to feel unheard, unappreciated, or emotionally distant from him. Over time, this disconnect can breed frustration, resentment, and feelings of isolation within the marriage. Women often take on the role of caretakers and household managers, yet when their own health begins to decline, they may feel as though they are carrying more than their fair share of the burden. If their struggles go unrecognized, it can lead to emotional withdrawal, making them feel invisible in their own relationships. The key to maintaining a strong connection during these transitions isn't just about recognizing these physical changes, it's about actively responding with empathy and support. When couples communicate openly, adjust expectations, and find ways to share responsibilities, they can navigate these challenges together rather than apart. Aging is inevitable, but emotional distance doesn't have to be. A relationship built on understanding, flexibility, and mutual care can withstand the challenges that come with time, keeping the bond between partners stronger than ever. 2. The evolution of priorities and interests as women age. As women progress through different stages of life, their priorities and interests naturally evolve. After years spent focusing on family, career, and responsibilities, many women begin to seek greater opportunities for personal growth, self-care, and fulfillment. This shift, while deeply enriching, can sometimes create a growing divide between partners, especially if the husband does not recognize or appreciate these changes. With age and experience comes a deeper awareness of the importance of self-care. Women often start prioritizing their health, mental well-being, and personal passions in ways they may not have before. This transformation can manifest in various ways: taking up new hobbies, engaging in fitness routines, or exploring personal development pursuits such as meditation, journaling, or attending wellness retreats. These activities provide a sense of fulfillment and connection with oneself, yet they may also highlight differences in lifestyle preferences between partners. For example, a woman may dedicate more time to yoga, mindfulness practices, or reading, seeking intellectual and emotional enrichment. Meanwhile, her husband might still be invested in familiar routines, such as watching television in the evening or engaging in hobbies that no longer resonate with her evolving interests. This disparity can lead to feelings of distance or even frustration, particularly if the husband does not fully understand or support her desire for growth and change. Another significant change that occurs is a shift away from traditional caregiving roles. Many women who have spent years managing household responsibilities and supporting their families begin to crave more independence and personal time. As they prioritize their own well-being, they may feel less inclined to fulfill the same level of domestic or emotional labor that they once did. If their husbands continue to rely on them in the same way as before, this can create a mismatch in expectations, leading to tension in the relationship. For instance, a woman who embraces healthier living by adopting a nutritious diet and regular exercise may also begin to place a higher value on social engagements that align with her new lifestyle. She might enjoy attending community events, art classes, or wellness seminars, while her husband remains more rooted in past habits. When these evolving interests are not shared or acknowledged, it can create emotional distance, making her feel as though she is being held back from fully embracing her newfound passions. It is crucial to understand that this shift in priorities does not mean that love or connection has faded. It simply signifies the beginning of a new chapter in life. The key to maintaining a strong and thriving relationship lies in mutual understanding and support. Partners must actively communicate and acknowledge each other's growth, ensuring that these changes do not become sources of division, but rather opportunities for deeper connection. 3. Emotional disconnect. How couples drift apart. Over time, as the years pass, many couples experience a gradual emotional disconnect, not because love fades, but because life's demands take center stage. In the early days of a relationship, partners eagerly share their dreams, fears, and everyday experiences, creating a deep emotional bond. But over time, responsibilities such as raising children, building careers, managing a household, and dealing with personal health concerns begin to dominate their focus. Without realizing it, couples can slowly drift apart, not due to a lack of love, but due to a lack of emotional engagement. For many women, this emotional gap becomes more noticeable as they grow older. Women often dedicate years of their lives to caring for their children, supporting their partners, and managing daily responsibilities. However, as they enter new phases of life, whether it's an empty nest, career shifts, or personal self-reflection, they begin to reassess their own emotional needs. Suddenly, a woman may find herself longing for deeper conversations, meaningful connection, and emotional intimacy. Yet, if her husband remains absorbed in his routine, focusing on work, hobbies, or responsibilities without acknowledging this shift, she may begin to feel invisible within the very relationship she once found fulfilling. A common example of this emotional disconnection is the slow disappearance of affectionate gestures, heartfelt conversations, and shared experiences that once defined their early years together. In the beginning, there may have been love notes, spontaneous dates, or deep late-night talks. But as the years go by, these moments may become rare, replaced by logistical discussions about bills, schedules, and responsibilities. If a husband doesn't recognize this change or understand his wife's growing emotional needs, the distance between them widens, leaving her feeling lonely and emotionally neglected. Another major cause of emotional disconnect is the shift in communication dynamics. As life becomes more structured, couples often fall into a pattern of transactional conversations, discussing finances, household chores, or family logistics, rather than engaging in deep, meaningful discussions. While these conversations are necessary, they don't foster emotional closeness. A woman may begin to feel that her inner world, her fears, dreams, and personal growth is no longer a topic of interest to her partner. When she shares something meaningful and it's met with indifference or a distracted response, it reinforces the feeling that her emotional needs are no longer valued. Over time, this lack of engagement can lead to frustration, resentment, and ultimately, a weakened emotional bond. The good news is that emotional reconnection is possible, even after years of drifting apart. It requires both partners to recognize the evolving emotional needs within the relationship and take proactive steps to nurture intimacy once again. For women, openly expressing their feelings, whether it's a desire for more affection, deeper conversations, or quality time together, can help their partner understand what they need. For men, being receptive and willing to adjust their behaviors can make all the difference. Small but consistent efforts, such as actively listening, showing appreciation, engaging in thoughtful conversations, and rekindling affectionate gestures, can help rebuild the lost emotional connection. Emotional distance doesn't have to become permanent. By prioritizing emotional intimacy and making each other feel valued, couples can not only restore their connection, but strengthen it. The key is not waiting until the disconnect feels too deep to repair. Small acts of emotional engagement every day can keep the bond alive, ensuring that love continues to grow rather than fade with time. As women, openly expressing their evolving interest to their husbands can foster awareness and appreciation. Likewise, men who show genuine curiosity, encouragement, and a willingness to explore new activities together can strengthen their bond with their partners. By embracing change rather than resisting it, both individuals can cultivate a relationship that evolves alongside their personal transformations. When partners recognize that growth is an inevitable part of life and relationships, they can shift from a place of tension to one of mutual enrichment. Supporting one another's personal journeys ensures that the relationship continues to flourish, even as individual interests and priorities change over time. Perception of unmet expectations. How relationships evolve over time. As relationships progress, one of the most common reasons women feel unfulfilled or emotionally distant from their husbands is the perception that their expectations are not being met. In the beginning, both partners often go out of their way to nurture the relationship, sharing their dreams, engaging in meaningful conversations, and offering emotional support. However, as the years pass, responsibilities multiply, routines settle in, and the dynamics of the relationship shift. For many women, this gradual change can lead to a sense of emotional neglect. While they may still love their partners, they may feel that the deep emotional connection they once had is slipping away. Over time, this perception of unmet expectations can create feelings of frustration, loneliness, and even resentment. One of the most significant unmet expectations for women is the need for meaningful communication. In the early years of a marriage, couples often engage in deep, heartfelt conversations, talking about their aspirations, personal struggles, and everyday experiences. These discussions create a powerful emotional bond, reinforcing intimacy and trust. However, as life becomes busier, these soulful conversations often get replaced by routine exchanges about schedules, chores, or financial matters. If a husband becomes more focused on work, hobbies, or other distractions, his wife may feel emotionally neglected, longing for the depth of connection they once shared. For example, a woman might eagerly ask her husband about his day, hoping for a glimpse into his thoughts and emotions. But if his responses become short, indifferent, or dismissive, she may begin to feel shut out. Over time, This lack of emotional sharing can lead her to believe that her need for closeness and understanding is no longer being valued, making her feel unseen in the relationship. Another major expectation that can feel unmet is the desire for a true partnership, where both partners contribute equally to emotional and decision-making responsibilities. As couples age, priorities shift, and new challenges emerge, whether it's raising children, navigating career changes, or dealing with health concerns. Many women hope for a husband who is not just physically present, but emotionally engaged in these life transitions. When a woman feels like she is shouldering the majority of emotional burdens alone, worrying about the children, making long-term financial plans, or handling family matters without much support, she may begin to feel that the relationship has become one-sided. She may crave reassurance, involvement, and shared decision-making, but if her husband remains emotionally distant or uninvolved, resentment can start to build. It's important to recognize that unmet expectations don't always stem from a lack of love or effort. Instead, they are often the result of time passing and evolving relationship dynamics. Many men assume that their partners know they love and appreciate them, without realizing that emotional needs change over time. Additionally, partners sometimes fall into the trap of complacency, believing that what worked in the early years of their marriage will continue to work indefinitely. They may not recognize that small efforts, such as affectionate gestures, active listening, and deeper conversations, are just as crucial later in life as they were in the beginning. The good news is that these emotional gaps don't have to be permanent. With open communication and intentional effort, couples can learn to adjust their expectations and reconnect emotionally. For women, expressing their needs clearly, whether it's for more quality time, deeper conversations, or greater emotional involvement, can help their partners understand what's missing. Likewise, husbands who listen actively, acknowledge their wives' feelings, and make the effort to engage more deeply can help bridge the emotional divide. By recognizing that emotional needs evolve over time and taking proactive steps to nurture intimacy, couples can strengthen their bond and reignite the connection that brought them together in the first place. 5. The burden of domestic responsibilities: how unequal labor strains relationships over time. As relationships evolve, so do the dynamics of household responsibilities. In many long-term marriages, a noticeable shift occurs. Women gradually take on a disproportionate share of domestic duties. From managing household schedules and preparing meals to taking care of children, aging parents, and the home, these tasks can accumulate into an overwhelming physical and emotional load. While this imbalance may start subtly, it often becomes more pronounced as women age. The demands of maintaining a home, combined with their own evolving energy levels and personal aspirations, can leave them feeling exhausted, underappreciated, and even resentful, especially if their husbands remain disengaged. This unequal division of labor can significantly impact a woman's emotional well-being, self-worth, and overall relationship satisfaction. The burden of household responsibilities goes beyond just completing physical tasks. Women often carry the weight of emotional labor, the mental effort required to organize, plan, and ensure that everything runs smoothly. This includes keeping track of appointments, school activities, and social obligations, managing the family's emotional well-being, ensuring that everyone's needs are met, mediating conflicts, remembering birthdays and anniversaries, planning meals, budgeting, and ensuring the home is functioning efficiently. Over time, this invisible workload can become just as exhausting as the physical labor itself. If her contributions go unnoticed or unacknowledged, a woman may start to feel like she is operating on autopilot, constantly giving yet receiving little emotional or physical support in return. A common example of this imbalance is when a woman finds herself responsible for nearly every aspect of domestic life, from grocery shopping and paying bills to managing the children's activities, all while balancing her own work, health, and personal interests. If her husband fails to step up, assumes household duties are just her responsibility, or doesn't actively notice the toll this takes on her, she may begin to feel taken for granted, wondering why her hard work goes unrecognized, emotionally disconnected, feeling like she's in a one-sided partnership, resentful, frustrated that she is carrying the weight of the household alone. This sense of inequity can fester over time, leading to emotional exhaustion, withdrawal, and even conflicts that further strain the relationship. One of the biggest challenges in addressing this issue is the lack of communication about expectations. Many women assume that their husbands should just know that they need help, while many men, unintentionally, fail to recognize the full extent of their wife's workload. If a wife doesn't speak up, she silently carries the burden, hoping her husband will eventually notice. If a husband doesn't ask, he remains unaware of how much his wife is juggling, leading to emotional distance and frustration. Breaking this cycle requires open, honest communication. A woman should feel comfortable expressing her feelings without fear of being dismissed or unheard. Likewise, a husband must be receptive, acknowledge his wife's struggles, and take initiative to ease the imbalance. Long-term relationships require adaptation. As couples age, their responsibilities shift, and their partnership must evolve to reflect these changes. By redistributing household duties fairly and sharing the mental load, couples can strengthen their relationship rather than allowing resentment to build. Talk about expectations, set clear agreements on who handles what, recognize the unseen labor, acknowledge the emotional effort behind running a household. Take action, not just listen. A willing attitude to share the load speaks volumes. Appreciate each other's efforts. A simple thank you or recognition can go a long way. With mutual understanding, shared effort, and respect, couples can prevent domestic responsibilities from becoming a source of resentment, and instead turn them into an opportunity for deeper connection and partnership. 6. Growing differences in social circles as couples age and how they impact relationships. As people grow older, their social circles naturally evolve, often in ways that can subtly, yet significantly, affect their relationships. For many women, these shifts become a source of tension within their marriage. Early in a relationship, couples typically share mutual friends and enjoy a variety of social activities together. However, as time passes, women often find themselves drawn to new friendships that reflect their evolving interests, careers, or personal growth, while their husbands may continue to maintain long-standing friendships rooted in past experiences. This divergence can lead to an increasing sense of disconnection and emotional distance. Women may begin to feel isolated when their husband's social world remains unchanged, making them feel like an outsider rather than an active participant in his friendships. The emotional impact of this growing divide can be profound, leading to feelings of loneliness, frustration, and even resentment within the relationship. Women's friendships deepen with shared interests. As women age, their friendships often become more centered around meaningful connections and shared experiences. They may seek out companions who align with their passions, whether it's wellness, spirituality, creative pursuits, or professional ambitions. Meanwhile, many men continue to socialize within their long-standing circles, which may revolve around work, sports, or old college friendships. While these bonds provide consistency, they may not necessarily evolve alongside their wives' changing interests. A common challenge arises when a woman no longer relates to her husband's friends. Social gatherings that once felt enjoyable may now leave her feeling like a third wheel, out of place in conversations that no longer resonate with her. This sense of detachment can make her feel invisible in her own social life. When a husband prioritizes his long-standing friendships, while not making an effort to engage with his wife's evolving social world, resentment can start to take root. The wife may feel that her emotional and social needs are being neglected, intensifying the emotional gap between them. To maintain a strong and connected relationship, mutual understanding and effort are key. Encourage each other's friendships. Instead of feeling threatened by new social circles, couples should support and appreciate each other's evolving relationships. Find common social ground. While maintaining individual friendships is important, finding shared activities or new social groups that both partners enjoy can help reinforce their bond. Engage with each other's social circles. Husbands can take an active interest in their wives' new friendships, and wives can find comfortable ways to interact with their husbands' longtime friends. Prioritize quality time together. Regular date nights, new activities, and open communication can help prevent social differences from turning into emotional disconnection. As life progresses, social circles will inevitably shift, but these changes don't have to create a divide in a relationship. By acknowledging each other's needs, respecting personal growth, and fostering new ways to connect, couples can maintain a deep emotional bond while embracing their evolving social lives. With open communication and a willingness to adapt, love and companionship can thrive, no matter how friendships change over time. 7. Changing expectations in a relationship. How couples can adapt and thrive. As relationships evolve over time, so do the expectations that partners have for each other. In the early years of marriage, excitement, shared goals, and a sense of discovery fuel the connection. However, as life progresses, women may begin to seek a deeper, more fulfilling partnership where both emotional and practical needs are balanced. If their husbands fail to recognize these changing desires, frustration, disappointment, and emotional distance can set in. Many women find that routine replaces romance, and the passion that once defined the relationship begins to fade. They may long for moments of connection that make them feel cherished, valued, and understood, such as spontaneous gestures of affection, long heart-to-heart conversations, and more effort in maintaining physical intimacy. However, if their husbands become preoccupied with work, personal interests, or other responsibilities, they may overlook their wife's growing need for closeness. When intimacy dwindles, feelings of neglect can lead to resentment and emotional detachment. Over time, women may begin to feel that they are merely coexisting with their partners, rather than truly sharing life together. Many wives, after years of focusing on family, children, or household responsibilities, begin to crave adventure and companionship with their spouse, whether through traveling, exploring new hobbies, or simply spending meaningful time as a couple. When husbands remain indifferent or overly focused on their own interests, it can leave their wives feeling excluded, unappreciated, and longing for a stronger sense of partnership. As relationships mature, women often expect a more balanced partnership, where both partners actively invest in keeping the relationship strong. If a wife feels like she's the only one making an effort to communicate openly, resolve conflicts, and plan quality time together, she may begin to feel emotionally exhausted and underappreciated. Women want to know that their husbands are just as committed to maintaining the connection and ensuring that both partners feel valued. As women grow, so do their personal interests, ambitions, and aspirations. Whether it's starting a new career, pursuing education, or exploring spirituality, they hope for encouragement and support from their partner. If a husband is dismissive or uninterested in her growth, it can make her feel unseen, unsupported, and trapped in an outdated version of herself. True partnership means growing together rather than one partner moving forward while the other stays stagnant. Many women expect their husbands to develop better emotional awareness over time, to be more present, empathetic, and engaged in communication. This means recognizing emotional needs without being prompted, responding with understanding rather than dismissiveness, and engaging in conversations about the future, goals, and feelings. A lack of emotional awareness can create distance and misunderstandings, making the wife feel like she's navigating the relationship alone. While traditional roles may have worked early in the marriage, women increasingly desire a more balanced division of responsibilities. Whether it's parenting, household chores, or emotional labor, they expect their partners to share domestic responsibilities, be more hands-on in parenting, and recognize and appreciate the invisible emotional work they take on. When these expectations aren't met, resentment can build, leaving wives feeling like they are carrying the emotional and physical weight of the relationship alone. Over time, many women hope that their husbands will continue to prioritize the marriage rather than assuming the relationship will sustain itself. This means putting in effort to keep the romance alive, having regular check-ins about the state of the relationship, and making new memories together. If a husband becomes complacent, assuming that nothing needs to change, the wife may feel like the relationship has lost its spark and excitement. The key to navigating these shifting expectations is mutual understanding, communication, and effort. Couples should talk openly about changing needs, prioritize emotional and physical intimacy, engage in shared activities, and ensure that both partners contribute equally to maintaining the relationship. By recognizing and adapting to these evolving needs, partners can rediscover joy, strengthen their bond, and build a relationship that remains deeply fulfilling for years to come. As we've explored today, there are many reasons why women may start to feel distant from their husbands over time. From shifts in health and energy levels to evolving relationship expectations, these changes can create emotional gaps if left unaddressed. The key to maintaining a strong and fulfilling partnership is awareness, open communication, and a willingness to grow together. By recognizing these shifts and making an effort to stay connected, couples can strengthen their bond and navigate these transitions with mutual understanding and support. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree? Or have you experienced any of these changes in your own relationship? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. And if you made it to the end, comment yes, so I know you stuck with me. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.